Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today we're plunging into, well, a truly remarkable story, a journey that might just redefine what you think of as impactful leadership.
Mm-hmm.
Imagine someone who builds this high-flying career on Wall Street,
Right.
then pivots entirely, dedicates his life to fighting for democracy and peace in his home country in West Africa.
It sounds almost like a movie plot, doesn't it?
It really does.
And that's precisely the fascinating deep dive we're starting today. Our focus is on one extraordinary individual, Modeste Gnamé Seri, and his unyielding commitment to bringing peace and democratic reform back to Ivory Coast.
And we're lucky. We have really rich source material for this.
Right.
It's a personal biography that skillfully weaves together his professional achievements,
Yeah.
his deep community roots, and this compelling, often challenging political narrative that spans decades.
So our mission today is really to unpack Modeste Seri's multifaceted life. We want to understand the foundational forces driving his activism, explore his, let's say, expansive vision for a stable, just, and genuinely democratic Ivory Coast.
Right.
And really dissect the unique background that shapes his approach, the practical steps he's taken, and critically, the significant personal sacrifices he's endured, all for his country's future.
So with that impressive opening, let's start peeling back the layers on this extraordinary life. You might be surprised by Modeste Seri's journey, especially how his early education and career set him on, well, a truly unique path.
Mm-hmm.
Born in 1966, Guy, Ivory Coast. He's married, his 2 children. But his academic journey is seriously impressive.
It really is.
Yeah.
He went through primary and secondary and Catholic schools.
Okay.
Then graduated from the INSET Institute, that's a top technical and business school in Ivory Coast, specializing in accounting and financial management.
And he didn't stop there, did he?
No, not at all. He went on to earn a master's degree in finance and also a diploma in banking and high financial studies from the American Banking Institute. And what's even more striking, he holds an SD license in the U.S., qualified him to trade securities.
That's serious financial grounding.
Absolutely. And what's fascinating here is his professional trajectory. He started in banking with the French Société Générale de Banques in Abidjan, right there in Ivory Coast.
Okay.
Worked his way up, client account analyst, then manager. But then he makes this significant jump across the Atlantic.
That's right, because in the United States, he worked as a stock market specialist for a Wall Street investment bank.
Yeah.
And eventually reached the prestigious position of vice president, G&H Investment Bank in New York.
VP on Wall Street. That's quite a pinnacle.
It really is.
Yeah.
And this pivot from Wall Street to West Africa,
Mhm.
it isn't just a career change, is it? It suggests a kind of profound redefinition of value for him.
How do you mean?
Well, it seems like the true return on investment shifted
Yeah.
from, financial capital to social and political capital, viewing national peace as maybe the most crucial dividend.
That's a really interesting way to put it. It adds this unexpected layer, doesn't it?
Yeah.
From the heart of global finance
Yeah.
to a dedicated advocate for democratic change back home.
Mm.
And what's striking isn't just the prestige, the Wall Street background,
Mhm.
but maybe how his deep understanding of financial systems might actually inform his approach to nation building.
Right, like viewing political stability as the ultimate long-term investment.
Exactly, in a country's future.
That's a powerful insight. And here's where it gets really interesting.
Okay.
Because even with his demanding finance career, Seri's commitment to community, it began incredibly early.
Oh, yeah.
Even back at school, he was head of class for several years,
Yeah.
showing those initial sparks of leadership.
So taking responsibility early on.
Exactly. It wasn't just about holding positions, it's seeing how he actively sought to bring people together, even then.
And that drive for collective action, it seems to have really blossomed later, right?
Totally.
At the INSET Institute, he was president of CJFISC. That's the Institute's club for young financiers.
Ah, okay. An early sign of his organizing spirit.
Definitely. And this wasn't just, resume building. It seems foundational to his later advocacy. He continued that engagement as a member of the Rotary Club of Cocody, Abidjan,
Mm-hmm.
and the Association of Graduates of the American Banking Institute. You really see this consistent thread, don't you? Leadership, civic involvement from a remarkably young age.
A sense that he was always looking beyond just his own professional success.
Precisely.
It's remarkable how that proactive engagement seems to have evolved. What's fascinating about those early leadership roles is how they appear to have cultivated maybe a deeper sense of responsibility.
Yeah, you can see that connection.
Because while he was building this career, he was also keenly observing the political climate back in Ivory Coast.
Which was deteriorating at the time.
Right. And this growing awareness of the country's deterioration, it seems it directly sparked the formation of the Diaspora et Jeunesse de Côte d'Ivoire.
Exactly. Modeste Seri, alongside other Ivorians and foreign supporters of good democratic governance, they formed DJCI with a very specific purpose.
Which was?
To find a path to peace in his country and to reverse its ongoing political and institutional deterioration.
Okay.
And by 2004, the DJCI proposed what they called a visionary peace plan.
A visionary plan.
Yeah. And this plan, it didn't pull any punches. It called for stronger international involvement and strongly advocated for a nonpartisan transitional government.
Nonpartisan, that seems crucial. And the goals of this plan?
Crystal clear, really, to reconcile the country, foster unity, inclusion, reconciliation.
All as preconditions?
Absolute preconditions for successful national elections. The DJCI's strong conviction, their core belief, is that this approach is, and I quote, the only path to ensure genuine and sustainable peace, reconciliation, and institutional reconstruction.
That's a powerful statement, a high bar.
It is, and they've certainly backed that up with action. DJCI has actively engaged in local campaigns, trying to get popular endorsement for their peace plan within Ivory Coast itself.
On the ground.
On the ground. And abroad, their advocacy efforts target, well, the UN community, the U.S. Congress and administration, human rights NGOs, democracy-promoting groups.
It's hitting all the key international players.
Right, and various other civil society members. For its activities inside the country, DJCI collaborates closely with an organization called CUPCI, which focuses on that popular endorsement piece. And DJCI is an active member of the Ivory Coast Civil Society Convention, the CSCI.
Lots of connections there.
They even cooperate with the New York-based Center for War Peace Studies. Modeste Seri actually served on their board of management.
Bringing his international experience back into play.
Seems like it.
So what does all this sustained action tell us about his broader philosophy, his worldview?
Well, Seri seems to be a firm believer in the need for thorough change, not just in Ivory Coast, but across the African continent.
Okay. What's his core vision?
It's about ensuring democracy, good governance, and, crucially, unwavering respect for the rule of law. He envisions a democratic society truly free of ethnic manipulations and hostilities, where the rule of law is respected, equally applicable to everyone.
And the judiciary.
Fully independent. And society free of corruption. That's key. For him, leaders should be dedicated to promoting the common good, not, self-enrichment or benefiting their own clan.
That's a powerful vision, truly. A very principled stand.
It is, but history often suggests that standing for such principles, well, it can come at a steep personal cost.
Right. How did Modeste Seri's unwavering commitment to this vision impact his own safety and freedom?
Well, his public engagement pushing for this kind of fundamental change, it inevitably brought him into direct opposition with both the previous Laurent Gbagbo government and the current regime.
Okay, so conflict with power.
Absolutely. In fact, during the Gbagbo presidency, he was wrongly accused.
Wrongly accused.
Yes. And spent almost 2 years in detention. This was 2008 and 2009 at Abidjan Central Prison, also known as Massaguet.
2 years. On what grounds?
Alleged threats to state security. But what's critical here is that no formal charges were ever actually laid against him.
No charges, no trial.
No judgment took place. He was arbitrarily released eventually, only due to sustained pressure from international human rights defenders. And also France played a role.
Wow. So a political prisoner, essentially.
It certainly appears that way based on the sources. And even after that ordeal, his challenges didn't end there.
What happened next?
He opposed the ethnically based policies pursued by the ruling regime, the one that came to power following the contested elections and conflict of 2010-2011.
Right, the post-election crisis.
Exactly. And being critical of the unjust policies of Ouattar's government, he was compelled to flee Ivory Coast.
Flee the country again.
Yes. He's been living in Ghana for the last 15 years as of July 2025, in exile.
15 years in exile, that's a heavy price.
It is. But interestingly, he actually views his stay in Ghana as beneficial. Politically beneficial.
How so?
He says it's allowed him to meet some prominent leaders, people who helped him better understand democratic systems that could, potentially, assist his homeland in overcoming its election issues.
So using the time productively.
Seems so. And being geographically close to Côte d'Ivoire, right next door, he's had the opportunity to continue working with his followers on the ground, planning for his eventual return and a potential presidential campaign.
It really speaks volumes about his character, doesn't it? That even in exile, his focus remains entirely on the future of his country.
It absolutely does. His resilience is remarkable.
Absolutely. Despite these immense challenges, the detention, the exile, this profound personal sacrifice, Seri's commitment to his vision, it just remains steadfast.
Relentless, really.
Yeah. And right now, he's actively pushing a critical idea for Ivory Coast's future.
Okay, what's the focus now?
The DJCI, and it's notable they emphasize having no association with the human rights violations of the past 30 years. They're working to lay foundations for sustainable peace and reconciliation before the next presidential elections.
Which are scheduled for October 2025, right?
That's the timeline, so preemptive work.
And for Modeste Seri, saving Ivory Coast from potentially another major conflict hinges on a specific proposal, a period of a transition government.
A transition government. Okay.
Yeah.
What would that look like?
Crucially, the members of this proposed government would have had nothing to do with the human rights violations of the last 3 decades in the country.
A clean break, essentially.
That seems to be the idea. He envisions an ideal transitional team composed of competent patriots, men and women of unimpeachable integrity, ready to work in total transparency for the people, to build strong democratic institutions, for justice, and, importantly, durable peace.
And how does he expect this to happen? How to get it adopted?
He genuinely counts on the mobilization and support of the Ivorian people themselves to adopt this idea of a transition government.
Grassroots support.
He believes it's the only way to truly reconcile the country, to pave the way for peaceful and transparent elections down the line.
And he's still actively promoting this.
Absolutely. In close cooperation with the CSCI, the Civil Society Convention, he continues to promote that DJCI message: reconciliation, inclusion, justice, to bring sustainable peace and prosperity to Ivory Coast.
Through what channels?
He's published articles, given interviews, participated in many gatherings, public conferences, continuing the advocacy work.
It's quite a story of perseverance.
It really is. And Modeste Seri's journey, it forces us to consider a fundamental question, I think.
Go on.
What does his story teach us about the true cost of advocating for change? You know, real systemic change.
The personal price.
Exactly. And how might one person's unyielding vision for a nation's future actually shape the path toward lasting peace and democracy, even when facing overwhelming odds?
That's a powerful thought to end on. It really resonates far beyond the borders of Ivory Coast, doesn't it? Into the heart of what it means to lead, to fight for something bigger than yourself.
Precisely. A question for all of us to think about.